What's good? It's your boy Jay, that's me. Let's dive into NXT Spring Breakin Week 1 from April the 23rd, 2024. A very solid, fun show. Big shout out to Trick Williams. He is now the new NXT champion. Great stuff, great stuff. We'll talk about it when we get to it. Before we get into the show, there were a couple of releases that used to work in NXT. They spent some time there. Number one, Cameron Grimes, now known as Trevor Lee, and Von Wagner. So they have been in NXT for about 5 years. I didn't know that Von Wagner was in NXT for that long. I didn't. It sucks that they lost their jobs, but it's fine. I think that Cameron Grimes will probably do what Mustafa Ali's doing, as well as Nick Nemeth and others. They're just going to be all over on the indie circuit, so they'll probably show up at TNA, GCW, NWA. They'll do the whole Matt Cardona thing, so that's probably what they'll do. That's probably what will happen when it comes to Trevor Lee. So, he's solid. He's good. Von Wagner, he had a good thing going, but it just wasn't. It just didn't pan out, and it sucks. If he wants to continue wrestling, I could easily see him in TNA for sure. They could help him come up with a character and all that and everything. So I wouldn't be shocked. But what they're doing with guys now is that if you've been there 5 years or longer, they're probably going to start getting rid of people. People that they don't have any plans for on the main roster and on NXT, they're just going to get rid of them because they've got so many people coming through the PC coming through. So, a lot of those guys and girls want chances and stuff. And a lot of these people are just working on level up. And then when a spot opens up for them to be on NXT television, that's when they can start rocking and rolling. But I think Trevor Lee and Von Wagner will be fine. And we wish them all the best. Trevor Lee will definitely probably do the indie circuit for sure. So, he'll show up in GCW, TNA, everyone. He might even do some stuff in New Japan. I wouldn't be shocked. So, he'll probably end up doing the Nick Nemeth, Matt Riddle, and the like type of stuff going forward. So, he'll be fine. Trevor Lee would definitely be fine. He's a really good talent. Very good talent. Like I say, Von Wagner, if he still wants to continue wrestling, TNA would be a perfect fit for him. He already has been on TV, so that's fine. And TNA could definitely work wonders for him. They could have him, do some stuff, come up with a really good character and everything else. And I think he'll be fine in TNA for sure. For sure. All right, let's go ahead and get into the show. So, we kicked the show off with the first match of the night, which was the triple threat for the for the NXT Women's Championship. Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez versus Tatum Paxley. Roxanne Perez wins via a jackknife roll-up. This was a really good, solid match. The crowd was heavily in the corner of Tatum Paxley. I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. But the crowd was all over Tatum Paxley. They loved her. They absolutely loved her. But the finish was great, that was really, really good. With the jackknife finish, I thought that was a really good finish. What did they do with Roxanne Perez going forward? I don't know. I know some people have said there might be a little feud between Roxanne Perez and Tatum Paxley. Maybe, but my money is on Roxanne going to the main roster. I think it's time for her to go to the main roster. I think you could still have Lyra and Tatum just feud over the NXT Women's Championship. And I think Roxanne Perez would do fine on the main roster. I just do. Roxanne's been in NXT for a good 2+ years. Her only weakness is her promo ability. Other than that, she's got everything else down. And I think she would do fine on the main roster. Moving on. So, Ava Raine, she had a conversation with Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce. They were just talking about the upcoming WWE draft. And then Ava promises that NXT will never be the same following tonight's show. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I think NXT is going to be in good hands now that Trick Williams is champion. I think they'll be in really good hands. Excuse me. Moving on. So, Thea Hill, she's backstage with Fallon Henley and Kalani Jordan. So, she's glad that everybody's on the same page with Mr. Chase. She's got to shift her focus to her match with JCJ next week. So Thea's grateful for the beret of people that have her back. So Jada Parker, she's tired of the love fest, and she calls Fallon Henley the most popular woman she's ever seen. Jada tells Fallon Henley to stick her nose out of other people's business. And then Fallon Henley asks Jada Parker if they have a problem. And then, so they shove each other. And then all the women start screaming. And this leads to a match later on. So that's fine. That's pretty cool. Miss Parker. Jada Parker is one sexy chick. Ooh wee. Miss Parker's going to be a star. She going to be a star. Best believe that. She going to be a star. You feel me? I mean, she is. Jada Parker's going to be a star. Like, I ain't going to hold you guys up. I'm going to make a prediction. I definitely see her being NXT Women's Champion. I want to say sometime in 2025. If not, she'll definitely become the NXT Women's North American Champion. So they might start her off with that. Maybe sometime next year. But in 2025, next year, she'll definitely be NXT Women's Champion. The girl's solid. She's solid. It's just that finisher needs some work, but other than that, she's solid. Moving on. So, Tariq and Tyson, they'll be making their debut next week. A couple of brothers from NXT Level Up, they've been, showcasing them and everything else. That should be fine, I guess. It is what it is. That's cool. We'll see how it goes. Moving on. So, the Creed Brothers, they came back. Same thing with Ivy Nile. They were interviewed by Kelly Kinnaid. So, Brutus is excited about the main event. Julius says that Trick Williams will slay the dragon. The Creed started with that trick chant, and then Brutus did his Booker T impression, which was great. And Booker T said on commentary, he's going to sue. So that was pretty good. Man, Booker T was a fool on commentary. He was a fool. I like me some Booker T. Moving on. So, NXT Battleground, that's going to be taking place on June 9th. It's going to be at the UFC Apex, which is pretty cool. I heard that it can only fit maybe 1,000 people. I'm like, what? That's weird. Didn't Stand and Deliver have like 13,000 people? I don't know about that. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Moving on. So the D'Angelo family, which is Tony D, Stax, and Lisa Cristofano, they defeated Charlie Dempsey, Miles Bourne, and Damon Kemp. So it was just their basic 6-man tag. If you've seen one 6-man tag, you've seen them all. Tony D got the win via the spine buster for the 1, 2, 3. It was nicely done. So I'm pretty sure probably in 2 weeks, it'll be Charlie Dempsey versus Tony D for the Heritage Cup. Watch what I tell you. Moving on. Jada Parker, my girl. Well, actually, no, our girl. Miss Parker. she defeated Fallon Henley via the hip attack, which is fine. It's actually called the teardrop hip check. It's cool, but she doesn't have an ass, Jada Parker. She's got one, obviously, but it's not as voluptuous as Toni Storm's is. But that's fine. But I don't know. I would maybe change her finisher. Maybe a neck breaker or some type of modified DDT or something. I don't know. But I wouldn't do that. That's just me. I mean, it's a safe finish, no doubt. But I don't know. I'd come up with something else if I was her. Moving on. So JD McDonough and the New Catch Republic, they were interviewed by Kelly Kinnaid, and they talked about the main event. Both McDonough and Pete Dunne are going to go with Dragunov retaining. And then Tyler Bates says that Trick Williams is going to win. Okay, that's fine. Not really all that important. Moving on. So Daisy Jane, she cut a promo. She said that ungrateful. That's what she thinks when she hears the name Thea Hale. Daisy Jane said that she gave her a road to free success. A free road to success. A one-way ticket to the hottest attraction in NXT. She stood behind her in hopes that one day she realized that Daisy Jane always knows what's best. But Thea, did you fall and smack your little head on the pavement? Or maybe did I miss that part where you say thank you for everything that I've done for you? I took you under my wing. I made you into everything that you wanted to be. You should be kissing the ground that she walks on, begging for her wisdom on her hands and knees. But instead, all you did was show that you're an ungrateful little girl. So next week, at Spring Breakin, week 2, she's going to end her. And then she says, "Stay hell, you're going to learn that gratitude is not an option, but a debt you will repay to me." So this is interesting. I do like this, but the way this promo is structured and what's being said here, we need a stipulation in this match. Maybe like a steel cage, a last woman standing match, a no DQ match, a table match, something. I don't know. But just this little promo by itself, it's cool, and I'm down with it, but we need more than just a regular little one-on-one match between these two. Because it seems to me like this thing is far from over. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Moving on. So, we had the contract signing involving Natalya and Lola Vice. So, Ava Raine introduces both ladies. Both ladies signed the contract. So, Natalya says she's still the deal. And Natalya's basically asking Lola who's in her corner. Lola Vice says that Natalya is more worried about who's in her corner than what she's about to do to her in the underground. She said, let me make something perfectly clear. Just because I shake my ass doesn't mean I can't kick your ass. That was great. She said, we're going to be making history next week, and I'll break you. And so then Natalya, she cut a really good promo. She says, when she first met Lola, she knew that she had an ego, one that needed to be kept in check. The thing about her is that the difference between her and Lola Vice is that she respects where she comes from. She respects that Lola Vice fights in the cage, but you don't respect me. You don't respect the fact that she made it in the dungeon. Natalya said if you can survive the dungeon, you can survive anything. She says that she respects the superstars of the past and of the present. She says, but that superstar is going to lead us into the future. I'm going to be some respect into you. And then she wants Lola to bring everything she has next week because she's going to tap her ass out. That was great. So then Lola Vice responds by saying, you can try, but when the lights dim, your hands are in my fate. The fastest hands in the division, and my training partner will make them even faster. So Shayna Baszler comes out, and then she talks shit about Natalya. She says she knows that Natty's smart enough to kind of tell the atmosphere here. Her chances of winning are slim to none when it comes to fighting. The most dangerous woman in NXT is aligned with the baddest woman in WWE. She says that you can still bow out of it gracefully. If I was you, I would take the contract and tear it up immediately. Especially if your partner is Carmen Petrovic. So Carmen Petrovic is then shoved by Shayna Baszler. And then Petrovic does a roundhouse kick to Shayna Baszler. And then there's a brawl between Natalya and Lola Vice. This is great. I'm not going to hold you guys up. You guys know I'm not a fan of Natalya. But this is some good shit. You can't, you can't sugarcoat it. This is some really, really good shit. And I'm actually excited for this. I wouldn't be shocked if this is the main event for next week. I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know, but that's one thing that might happen. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if this is the main event. So, there's that. Moving on. So, Ridge Holland, he runs into Shawn Spears in the parking lot. Thankfully, he didn't get hurt, because the NXT parking lot is dangerous. So Ridge is looking forward up to racking up victories and getting back on track. Ridge tells Shawn Spears to leave him alone. Spears says that maybe one day Ridge can truly find what he's capable of. Maybe it's time to embrace that rage. Ridge knows that what Shawn Spears is trying to do, and he can't rile him up. Ridge Holland tells Shawn Spears that he'll be seeing him around. Okay, that's fine. So we get a final testament segment. So they say, good evening. You're a former two-time NXT champion. Just letting you know, we're about to take you back to the good old days where we left everyone beaten and broken. And if you don't have an army behind you or a little miracle in your pocket, you're going 8 miles out and 6 feet under. That is so fucking good. I love when Karrion Kross said it. That was some good ass shit. I like that. He said the office of Pain Destiny is clear. The final testament is coming for all the titles. That will be our dynasty. We're bringing destruction back to NXT. This was great. I'm down for this shit. I'm down for this. I'm down. So Axiom and Nathan Frazier, they're not fazed by what the Office of Pain said. What the Final Testament said. So Malik Blade is tired of the main roster tag teams trying to make their way, trying to take away their opportunities. The Good Brothers, they poke fun at the NXT tag team division, and then a mirror breaks. So I guess they're going to do this whole bad luck storyline involving Malik Blade and Idris Inifed. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Malik Blade and Idris Inifed, they've been there for at least 2 years. Because I know NXT 2.0 started back in, I want to say 2022. So they've been there for 2 years. So I don't know. We'll see where this leads. This is fine though. Moving on. So Blair Davenport is defeated by Sol Ruka. I love me some Sol Ruka. She's good. In a beach brawl match. Pretty fun stuff. There was a nasty table spot where Sol Ruka did a Spanish fly through the table, which was great. I love that. And then Sol Ruka hit the slow snatcher for the 1, 2, 3. This is fine. I like this. This is good. Sol Ruka is good. She's really, really good. I enjoy her work. I just wish that she would come up with a new finish because I don't want her knees and legs to be bothering her as she gets older. That's just me. But good nonetheless. What do you do with Blair Davenport going forward? I have no idea. And Blair Davenport's been in NXT for a minute. She was in NXT UK, I think, for like 3 years. Then I believe back in 2020, I believe it was 2023, they brought No, it was back in 2022 when they brought the NXT UK guys back. So she's been in NXT for a couple of years, So I don't know. Maybe she'll get a main roster call up. Moving on. So Trick Williams, she's getting talking to by Johnny Gargano. So Johnny Gargano understands that the pressure that Trick Williams is dealing with right now, the pressure is on another level tonight. Johnny Gargano said that Trick needs to take that lost pain and use it as a weapon. This journey has made Trick what he is. And there's only one Trick Williams, according to Johnny Gargano. When Johnny Gargano won the NXT Championship, it changed his life. Is Trick willing to do whatever it takes to slay the Mad Dragon? And then Gargano tells Trick to whoop that Trick. So that's pretty cool. Nice. I like that. So, Damian Priest, he wishes Ilja Dragunov luck in the night's main event. Trick Williams tells Byron Saxton he understands the assignment for earlier. Either he's going to become the NXT champion or he's going to become a bust. And then Trick is dedicating his match to his mother, who is in the hospital. So this leads us into Baron Corbin versus Lexis King. Lexis King gets the win via the coronation. They had a little spat early on in the show when Baron Corbin was taking pictures, and Lexis King thought that Baron Corbin was going to go away because Braun Breaker's on the main roster, but it's not so. So he gets a little going away basket, which is cool, and this sets up for the match, so that's fine. Main event. Trick Williams versus Ilja Dragunov in the NXT Championship. If Trick loses, he goes to the main roster. He'll be NXT. Trick defeats Ilja Dragunov. Trick wins via the Trick shot. This is great. I love this match. This match was solid. It was a solid, good little match. Trick did the Torpedo Moscow and the H-bomb, and Ilja kicked out of both those. This was great, and then the finish came when both guys were standing in the corner. They did the Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay thing, but they'd done that before in their match before. Anyway, and Trick was able to hit the Trick shot before Ilja could hit the Torpedo Moscow. And this is a really good match. I enjoyed it. The crowd was super into it. There was a table spot where Trick powerbombed Ilja. No, he did a Uranagi through. No, my bad. He did a powerbomb through the table, which was great. So that was great. Everybody loved this. Ilja was intense. He did a bunch of H-bombs and stuff and everything else. They brawled earlier on in the match too. But this was solid. I mean, and when Trick won, that roof came unglued, man. It came unglued. Trick winning was the right decision, and I'm glad that Trick won. Ilja is main roster bound for sure. And this looks good on NXT. Kudos for them making Trick champion. Although I wish that this would have happened on a premium live event, but such is life. But this was great, man. I really dig this. I think Trick Williams is going to have a long reign as champion. I think this will allow Trick Williams to get better. Trick is already good. His only problem is his in-ring work, but he'll get to it. So, but I enjoyed this episode of NXT. Spring Breakin' week 1 was pretty good. It was very, very solid. Week 2 should be just as good. But what do you guys think? Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.